Okay guys, so let's get down to business, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back to the Worldwide History of History. I'm James, and so I decided to make another video. Finally, for once I actually made a video on my channel. I've been trying to find a way to videotape these things so that way I can show you all on my channel. This is a 1930s record player. Now, let's take a look at it. I've unlocked it, and it's really a cool piece. This is a record player, like I said, from the 30s. It was part of the Sears Silvertone brand. This was a Sears Silvertone portable record player. Now, Silvertone was Sears' brand of musical equipment. They made record players. They had a record label called Silvertone. They made musical instruments like guitars. So basically, Sears was your one-stop shop for almost anything. And literally, this was from back then, back in the early days of Sears. This was from the 30s. Now, if you look right here, this is called the platter, and this is what you put the record on. This is called the spindle. It's also the screw that holds the platter onto the turntable. Here we have the speed adjuster. So this goes all the way up from 70 to probably like 90 RPM, which is the speed. Usually it's recommended that it'll go at 78 RPM. So right here we have the tone arm. Now it's missing something at the end, and I'm going to get back to that, but that is what plays the record. Now I have this old Columbia record. Sadly it's broken, and usually I'll use it if I need to test something. If I need to test a record player or equipment when I'm playing 78s, I'll use this. Basically, I will not play this area. I will play the remaining area left on the playing surface, but this is what it would look like. And it would spin like this, obviously, and of course you put the tone arm on it. Now, here's the problem with the record player I have right now. It's missing something called the reproducer. The reproducer, which I'll show a little picture of, so I'll move this out of the way, is basically a device that the needle is connected to, and as the needle vibrates, it vibrates a little diaphragm, and that diaphragm is basically a thin kind of translucent sheet that, of course, the vibrations go from the diaphragm through the tone arm down to the speaker, which is right here. Now, this record player was a very simple record player. It wasn't a high-end record player, and it wasn't built the best. It's built pretty well, but it's not built as well as a not portable record player would be built. So it's built differently. It's built more simplistically. The mechanism is very simple. Basically, the little stop and the adjustment switches use very similar methods to control the speed. The stop switch, also called the breaker switch or the brake, basically has a little thing on it at the end that will brush up against the platter and stop it. So let me demonstrate. Now, right here, the speed selector also would have that little bit on it. Sorry about the beeping noise, but would also have that little bit on it that would stop or control the speed. Right here we have a little container for the needles, and the needles are very small. So I'm going to pick one out. I'm going to put that right there. That is one of the needles. Here's my thumb, and as you can see, my thumb is way bigger than the needle. These needles were replaceable. After you played a record, you would take the needle out of the reproducer head and you would chuck it. You would throw it in the trash. That's because these were not permanent. They were only meant to be used on one play. They were disposable. So say I took this record, I put it down onto the record player, I'm having fun, I'm playing it, and then I'm done with it. That needle that I just used, would go into the trash. So these are not really the proper needles. I don't know what needles would be best recommended for one of these portable record players, but I just put some old Victrola needles in there. I have a Victrola, which I talked about in a previous video, and I'll try to make a better version of that video. But basically, the problem with this record player is it doesn't have the reproducer head, which means I can't play anything on it, and it doesn't have the crank, which I would use to wind the machine up, because this isn't electric, this is mechanical, this is, uses springs, it's clockwork, and because I don't have that crank to wind it up, it doesn't work. So the problem is I can't find the crank, and I don't know if I can find the right reproducer, which is what I'm having trouble with. Also, parts for these machines are super expensive. So yeah, I might never be able to get this thing running. But I mean, maybe I could if I would love to demonstrate this thing if I ever got it restored. I mean, you could, oh, but maybe you, the viewers, could probably help by supporting my Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. There I could probably get some money together and get this thing fixed, so that way I can get this thing up and running. So if you could donate just a couple dollars, that would be very simple. That would be very nice of you. Then, to all you supporters, I'll try to get the video if I ever get this thing fixed, if I ever get the money, which could be helped if you support my Patreon. But if I ever do get this thing up and running, you guys will hopefully be the first to know. And so yeah, that's my Sears Silvertone portable phonograph from the 1930s, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're into collecting things like this, keep collecting. It's a fun hobby. Hope you guys are all safe out there because this whole COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So stay safe, stay home, play records, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.